everyone, so I mentioned in my mid-year update that we had been using Lightning Literature for our literature and composition for 4th grade for my daughter, and we love the literature, we love the grammar, but we haven't been loving the writing part of it. So I wanted to kind of show you a little bit about what we've been testing out, what I've been previewing to try to find something else to use for writing, both for this year and for next year. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you some things. Okay, so as I said, we've been using Lightning Literature, and we really have loved a good portion of it. But I felt that the writing part has been lacking. So if you're not familiar with Lightning Literature, there's a teacher's guide and then there's a student workbook. We have torn ours out this year, and so this is what we have left. But in the student portion of the workbook, each week starts with a schedule for the student, and there is a section for the writing, but there's nothing else in the workbook for the writing. That's all in the teacher's manual. And we had originally purchased Essentials in Writing to go along with this because I wasn't sure. This integrates the grammar lessons, and I wasn't sure that was going to be enough. I didn't know how the writing was going to be, so we had also gotten Essentials in Writing, which we used last year. But what I found is the way that they present grammar in this program works better for my daughter than Essentials in Writing. This was fine for last year, but this is better. So I like the grammar part in this. I think the fact that they integrate it, it relates to the book she's reading, and it's a very gentle approach to it. There's just little chunks each day, and that works really well for her. So, so every day they have day one like reading, and then there's day one grammar, and then there's day two reading, day two grammar. But the writing portion is in the teacher's manual, and there's not a lot to it. I wish that there were pages, maybe some graphic organizers or things in the student workbook to kind of help guide some of that, but there isn't. So let's see. So for composition, let's see. Like here, it tells you as the teacher, this is the part you need to know about the writing. They're going to write a fable, and that's it. That's what you get. So usually the first day they pick their topic, and then this is what you have for the instruction for the second day. So anyway, we were looking for more. I didn't feel that it was enough guidance for me, and I didn't feel like it was enough for my student. And the way Essentials in Writing works is you do grammar for the first part of the year, and then at the end you get into the actual writing part. And so I could just do the writing part with this for my daughter, but again, it was fine for last year. I don't love it. I can't really tell you why, but I don't know. It's just not what I want to do. So we have set this aside and started looking at other things. Now, I made a whole other video on Write Shop Junior. This was the first program that I decided to look at for writing. We got this for next year for 5th grade, but decided to get it now and do a lesson now and see kind of what we thought about it before I plan a whole year around it. I did a video on that. I'll link it down below. We did the very first unit, which was on fables. My daughter really liked it. She wants to do this next year. So we will see. But here are the topics that this covers. This is, did I say this is 5th grade? This is between a 4th and a 5th grade level, I would say. Writing a fable, writing with humor, writing an adventure, writing science fiction, writing a mystery, concrete poetry, writing a personal narrative, descriptive narrative, writing a book report, and writing a nonfiction report. So those are the topics that are covered. I did find that this takes more prep work on my part. It's not really open and go, at least not for me. Some people can probably do the prep work all at once ahead of time, like before your school year starts, and then maybe open and go. I found for me with these lessons, I really need to read through each activity ahead of time. Like a lot of my son's curriculum, I just kind of read the lesson as I go, and it is truly open and go. And for this, For some people, it probably could be once they did that initial prep work. I just need some quiet time to read through it ahead of time to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. But that's partly just me, I think. This does have some grammar, but I wouldn't consider it a grammar program. But I like the way that it integrates the grammar in a way that helps strengthen the writing that they're working on in that particular unit. There's games and graphic organizers and all that kind of stuff that goes along with it. This is just the teacher's manual. So we like this. She likes it. But I also had ordered some other stuff. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the other things. And now this is kind of my dilemma, and you can tell me if this ever happens to you. You like a little bit of everything, and how do you decide which one you're actually going to do, because you like all of it, and there are not enough hours in the day, days in the week, weeks in the year to do it all. So that's partly my dilemma now. I find a few things that I really like. So the next thing we got was writing and rhetoric. This is not a secular program. In this particular edition, it has not been a problem for us. I suspect, though, in later editions it will be. But I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so we started with book 1. This is meant to be like one semester. So you do this first semester, and then you do book 2 second semester. This is grades 3 to 4. I am, surprisingly, I like this more than I thought I was going to. There's a teacher's edition, and then there's a student edition. You could possibly do it without the student edition, but I like for my daughter to have it. But there's things I like about this that other programs haven't done. This kind of goes on the basis of, they say imitation as foundation for learning writing. And it basically takes good pieces of writing and you work through them, you pick them apart, you put them back together, you kind of play around with the sentences, and you use that to learn how to write yourself. We've only done the first 3 lessons so far in this, but again, we like it. My daughter really likes it. She enjoys that time. It's a very gentle approach, again, in my opinion. We just usually do 2 pages a day. So here in this lesson, it kind of introduces fables, why they think they're important to helping you learn to write, and just in general. You have a fable which you read, and then in this particular lesson, your student, you talk about narration, and they have to tell back the fable that you just read to them. There's often this talk about it section where you have questions, you ask them, and then this TE means that they have answers in the teacher's edition in the back for you. There's usually a go deeper section, and in here, so here, circle 1 sentence in the fable that captures the main idea. Here you're taking a word and you're trying to think of some other adjectives for that word. You're just really playing with the fable, and I really like how that teaches writing. Here there's some copy work and some dictation. And here's some sentence play. So you're taking a sentence from the fable, and then you're coming up with different ways to end that sentence. And then in this particular one, you are rewriting the fable, and you put mouse in the role of the strong animal instead of the lion. So that's pretty much, I think, was that whole lesson? Yeah, that was a whole lesson. And then they read it aloud at the end. So then, again, I've just really been liking some of the things. It'll throw in some Latin words and into it, and the origin. This particular one, I believe, gets into summary and amplification. So for this fable, let's see, did we have to summarize this one? Yeah, so we had to, there's the talk about it again. I really enjoy that part. I think we summarized this one. Here is the go deeper section. You can see a little bit of that. Then again, there's just copy work and dictation. And the sentence play again. I think this is a really strong component to it. And then here we're talking about summarizing a story, which is hard. But that's what we end up doing here. You find the main idea. You cross out the things that you think don't need to be included. You underline the things you do want to put in your summary. And then they write a summary. And let's see. And then you amplify it. So this one, you summarize it, then you amplify it. You make it longer. You talk about the things you could add in to expand on it. We've just really been enjoying doing this. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then the student edition looks exactly the same, except it doesn't have the teacher's notes in it. And it has room for them to write. So that's what that looks like. I just have been enjoying this a lot. And so much that I want to get book 2. So I'm kind of stuck. Like, I like that as well. All right, a few of the other things that we got. This one I'm actually returning, and not because I don't like it, but because I think we're going to wait and get the 5th grade version and do this next year. I really like the idea of it. I just don't think I can fit it in this year. But this is Weekly Real World Writing from Evan Moore. And it covers, let's see, awkward email, journal entry, opinion letter, thank you note, directions, infographic, biography, news article, peer review, meal review, product review, evaluation. You can see all these over here. And basically the way it's set up, every kind of section is the same, but there is the lesson page for the teacher. There's some information here. There's the actual lesson here. Then there's like a sample of that type of writing here. There is some type of graphic organizer. And then there are 2 writing tasks. And that's what each section looks like. So here's the lesson for the next one, the writing sample, the graphic organizer, and then the 2 writing tasks. So I think this looks really great. I'm just trying to be realistic. We're just not going to get to it this year, but I like it. I don't think you could do just this as a writing program, but I think it would be a nice add-on. So we will look at that one for next year. And I have 2 other things that I have been previewing in my quest to find a good writing program for us. So this is by Learning Without Tears, the company that does Handwriting Without Tears. I believe this is the 4th grade version, Building Writers. And I kind of like this one too. There's things I like about it. It covers narrative writing, information writing, opinion and argument writing. And I would also consider this one a gentle approach. It has a page that talks about narrative writing. They give kind of a sample and a checklist for narrative writing. And then here's an example of some of the activities that talks about writing dialogue in narrative writing. So they do one for you. They give you a picture, they write sample dialogue. Then they give you the picture and you write the dialogue. Do another one here, and then this one, you draw the picture and you write the dialogue. And then, let's see. They give you the beginning of a story. You write the rest of the story using dialogue to make it more interesting, and then you illustrate it. And then it moves into sequence, and there's a bunch of activities on sequence and writing. And let's see, is that good, better, best? Fables. I just like that it, the way it gently brings you through the idea. It starts very, very, giving you lots of help, very simple, moves into you writing your own. So I like that aspect to it. It goes into cause and effect, characters, what is it saying? Something special, an exciting adventure, narrative, graphic organizer. And then we get into information writing, and it does the same type of thing. So it gives you alligators and crocodiles are reptiles that are commonly mistaken. Read about their similarities and differences and complete the graphic organizer to compare and contrast the 2 animals. So you have that there. And then you're going to write about the similarities and differences. It gives you kind of some direction there. And then you get a chance to do some more kind of practice on that with different ideas. And then, let's see, I think, oh yeah, then we get into opinion and argument writing, and it's again the same setup. So there's things I really like about that. Lastly, we are looking at this one. This is Flash Kids by Harcourt, and this is grade 4 writing skills. We had last year grade 4 reading skills, and we have it this year as well. It's in my daughter's like Friday pouch. And I really like this one too. The thing I like about this, and they do it in the reading one too, is there's like an actual lesson that your student can read it on their own, or you can read through it with them. But this one really has quite a bit in it. So the topics that it covers, oh, here we go. Sorry, my light's there. Personal narratives, descriptive writing, fables, how-to writing, comparative writing, and short reports. So in each of those sections, there's quite a bit, quite a number of pages. So here it gives a sample, an example of a personal narrative, and then you answer some questions about it. Same thing here, it gives you some more information about what a personal narrative is, gives you an example of one, you answer some questions so that you really kind of understand what goes into it. And then it does some exercises to help you with the different components. And then you do a sample writing here. Personal narrative of a shark, journal entry, write about an important event, write a travel story. Here's another personal narrative. Then you respond to that. And then here we have the actual writing assignment. They don't give you enough space to do your whole paper, so you can start it and then you have to continue on your own paper. And then there's your revision page here and your writing report card, and then you go into the next unit. So they're all kind of set up that way. I kind of dig it. So I wanted to share these with you in case you are also struggling with finding writing that works for you. There's so much out there. We try to be secular in our homeschool, so that does limit our choices a little bit. But anyway, of all the things I've looked at, these have been the best and what we're trying to figure out. Some of these we're gonna go ahead and just test out this year. And hopefully this will lead us to a decision for what we want to use next year. But again, I'm struggling because there's bits and pieces of all of these that I like, and we can't do all of them. So you can let me know what you do in cases like that. Or if you really love a writing program that I haven't shown here that is secular, let me know down in the comments, and I would love to hear about it. But anyway, I hope that that is helpful to some of you. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer them down below.